Hi there, and welcome to the first ever program notes. Yes, I'm a Liverpool fan, and yes, I live down south. I was born in Kent. Come on, there was no teams down there. And I was only 7 when I thought that Everton were fantastic. And then they sold one of their best players, and I thought, how can I get back at Everton? So I decided to support Liverpool. So there you go. That's done, out of the way. So tonight we've got Derby County in the Carabao Cup. Really odd thing is I live in Derby now. Um, and I've been living up north for a long time. And I must say, it's much easier to support a big team up here because there are big teams around everywhere and also Derby. Anyway, so the programme notes. You might be interested in the programme notes. I'm being a Liverpool fan, like I say, since 1973. And the last 3 or 4 years have been fantastic. Under Klopp, but this beginning of this season not particularly great. Obviously, if you're a Liverpool fan, I was at Anfield, lucky enough to be at the Brighton 3-3 game, and they're a different team this year, definitely. I feel that they can beat anyone, but they can also lose to anyone. Maybe up until last year, or the end of the season, I should say, I did think that we could beat everyone, and I never felt really uncomfortable. There was, the odd time, but so this year, for instance, even though our form has been really patchy, I was absolutely convinced that we would beat Man City, who, without a shadow of a doubt, were coming into that game under a good head of steam, loads of momentum. So I don't know what to expect tonight. Basically, you're probably the same as me. If you're a big Liverpool fan, you're looking at the squad and maybe you'll be tutting and thinking this is not going to get us through. Just remember last year, it was only February, we were at Wembley actually winning the Carabao Cup. But along the way, there were lots of times when I thought we'd be out. And I can remember before games thinking, wow, is this team going to get us through? And that's exactly what Klopp says in the programme. So tonight's programme, that's what he's talking about. He's talking about the final, although it's fantastic and a big momentous occasion at Wembley. Don't forget the road was really tough. And it's these sort of games where you can bleed some new players in and get them some really good experience that will hold them in good stead for later on. I mean, the penalty shootout was amazing against Leicester, absolutely amazing. So that's character building. So for those players coming through, it's really good for them to be playing in matches like this. But he mentions that. He mentions Divock Origi's brilliant goal on the way to Wembley. And I just think it was a really good competition for the squad. But he's talking about how hard it is to get through some games and how important the fans are. And I think this is one of the things that I know he talks about in interviews, but it's really nice to see it in the programme. Talking about, especially after Leeds, losing at home to Leeds, how the fans stayed and were quite motivating, actually, rather than booing and not getting behind the team. So that's one of the things I would say. When I was at the Brighton match, I did feel that nervousness. And even when we were 3-2 up, I didn't feel like we were going to get through and not concede again. I do think that's starting to come back. I think this has been identified, like when we fought at Tottenham. That's been mentioned in the program notes. He's talking about the game at Tottenham, how important the away fans were, and obviously how Mo Salah's got back into form, goal scoring form. Obviously, with 2 absolutely wonderfully taken goals in the first half. So that was Jurgen's view in the program, basically, that we've got to remember it's a long, hard slog and there's tough games on the way. It's a big game for Derby, and that was pretty obvious. They're League One, so they'll come to Anfield and they'll give it their all. So it's not like it's an easy game with nothing at stake, because those sort of players want to get noticed, and of course they're playing at Anfield. A direct quote from Klopp in the programme. At Anfield, the backing we received after our defeat to Leeds United, and also when it seemed Napoli had got in front, is what makes our support so special. Maybe I should try and do it in an accent now. A direct quote from Jordan Henderson in the programme. This is a competition that means a great deal to everyone involved with Liverpool, and it's clear that last season's success was built on the foundations of the entire club. So Jordan Henderson is our skipper, obviously, and he gets a section in the programme to talk. And 3 things he really highlights. One is it's the entire club that the foundations are built on. Secondly, that the young players are coming through, giving them a lot of experience, and this is a great competition to actually try and introduce them into a sort of high level of competition. And how he wants to get to the World Cup break, building on the momentum from the win at Tottenham, and we've got 2 games before then. So tonight, hopefully beating Derby and doing well in the performance would be really good, and then going on to beat Southampton would be something that he wants to look forward to happening. And I totally understand that. I would say, if you're like me, I can't wait for 7 p.m. tonight to see what the team is. If you've got any comments, and if you're watching this after the match, actually, I'd be really interested in the comments. I don't really go in for predictions, but if it was 7 o'clock and I could see the team, I would give you a prediction. Because that's going to be one of the features. Please do comment anything you'd like to say. I mean, for me, I just want to quickly just talk about the team as I see it. I think the injuries have been the biggest problem at the moment, and that is, I suppose, really obvious. A bit of a no-brainer thing to say. Luis Diaz being out, obviously Jota being out as well, has been a huge blow. But obviously, the ins and outs of the midfield, Matip being in and out. It's been a difficult season, and it's very reminiscent of the season when basically the whole defence was injured at one point. So I'm feeling pretty confident and optimistic about tonight's game. Love to hear your comments. Please subscribe. This will be something I'm doing on a regular basis, going over the programme. And as I get used to presenting and talking this way, I mean, I love football, so I could talk about this for hours. I was a semi-professional footballer, a very low standard, and maybe I'll talk about that at some point. I was a right winger, played it a lot at school as well, scored a lot of goals. But anyway, enough of that. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe and comment, and I'll be really pleased to hear from you. Even if you don't support Liverpool and you want to slag me off, not a problem.